We're starting off high.
We can get
I
a two fools agree on that one. Oh, by the way, look, we got the wide shot. Ah!
There was you had accountability. Now what I can
Now all you need is a podcast and a YouTube channel.
No, not even.
Where give me the money. Show me the money.
Apparently there's a Foolproof page.
Shoot the J. Shoot it. Live on Facebook.com/Foolproof Entertainment Network. I need you on Twitter. I need you to repost the Facebook pages.
To raise a human before I would
Trust a human to raise back wolves.
before I would trust a pack of humans to raise wolves.
Right. I hear you. Yo, what up, fools? Welcome to another edition of Do Fools Agree. As always, I'm your host, Michael Reggie, here with my main man, Clifford Jordan Jennings.
Oh shit, what the fuck is going on here?
What happened?
Yeah, I'm bugging.
Is it you? You're the one that's bugging? It wasn't a mix going on my side. It's you fucking up.
Yeah, that was me. Don't mind me.
You're like, why is there this echo? I'm like, I don't hear an echo.
And you know what's crazy?
I know exactly what you did. You had like the TV sound on or something.
Don't worry about it. It's over.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. It's eliminated.
Standard Cliff answer. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
That little guy? Don't worry about that little guy. Actually,
Man,
I watched that movie this weekend. This past week.
What's that?
Super Troopers. When they're testing out the steel cup. The bulletproof cup.
No.
And Thorny is shooting
The second one?
No, this is the first one. Mac is in the bulletproof cup. He's like, Thorny, how's your shooting today? And it's all clustered around the bullseye except for one. And they ask him, what about that one? That little guy? Don't worry about that little guy. And Mac taps the cup and he's like, fuck it, I'm in.
I don't remember. My dad got me hip to Super Troopers.
Oh, Super Troopers is legit. It's a good time. How's your week been, sir?
My dad got me hip to basketball.
See, I don't know that one.
You don't know basketball?
I mean, I'm aware of it, but I never saw it.
Man, basketball came out before Super Troopers. There is no Super Troopers without basketball.
Yeah. Is that by the... That's not by the Broken Lizard?
Same people.
Is it Broken
Lizard?
Lizard?
No, it ain't. No, basketball. I'm bullshitting. I'm the one bullshitting.
Yeah. Cliff, you're nothing but bullshitting today. What's up?
I got the echo. I'm the one with the echo in the room. Listen, I've been drinking.
See, I've been drinking.
You know?
Isn't that what movie that is?
A lot of them.
No, there's one that I'm thinking of specifically. I think it's Hancock. I think it's Hancock with Will Smith.
Yep, knowing you probably is.
Why you always hating on Will, man?
Man, I ain't hating on him. I just, never been a fan. I ain't been a fan before all this nonsense.
Did you see the latest rumor?
What?
Jada's carrying Chris Rock's baby. And that's what led to all.
First of all, that bitch ain't carrying no baby.
No, she's like 50. I mean, if she is, good for her, but...
Oh, no, definitely. But we also need to check this bitch genetics. Come on now. And I know it's a lot of them. I mean, not a lot of them, but it's a lot of them that had that happen. But we know that Jada ain't risking it all.
Risking it all? No, her and Will have been open since '97.
Oh, I wasn't talking about a marriage. I was talking about her life.
Oh.
I was talking about.
Well, she can
everything.
come. She can come to Ohio now because guess what?
What?
Issue 1 passed. Abortion is enshrined in the Ohio State
ignorant.
Constitution.
You're ignorant. Well, that just means life goes on.
Well, no, actually, it means life can stop. But you know what else passed, Cliff? You know what else passed? Recreational.
Smoke weed every day.
Hey. Smoke weed every day. Also passed. See, Cliff, our Get Out the Vote campaign worked.
I voted too.
I am so proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
I've heard that from a few people.
This was the one to vote in because this was like local stuff that actually.
And that's what I said.
And Cliff, and can impact your life. And I'm not just talking about the weed.
I mean, let's keep it a buck. Don't care what you pass. It ain't going to impact my life.
Does if you can't get the drug anymore.
The moment I unsubscribe, trust and believe, you going to have to unsubscribe me. You hear what I'm saying? I ain't clicking it myself, but you gonna have to click this bell
Ding!
yourself. You hear what I'm saying?
Oh,
and
what's that? A new
just make
notification?
sure it's fun getting to that bell, baby. That's all I can do. But I listen, and I encourage a lot of people, especially Americans, everybody riding on that patriot shit. Be a patriot, but be a patriot for what the country was supposed to be made for.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
You hear what I'm saying? Like, everybody want to be a patriot and rock with the government like the government ain't been lying to us for years.
Speaking of the government lying to us, remind me to circle back. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, we about to. But we in the age of awakening and motherfuckers don't want to wake up. It ain't about black shit. Woke ain't about none of that. Wake the fuck up and see what's happening around you. Go ahead, sir.
And speaking of waking up, the government has launched their UFO reporting site and is getting ready to make it available to the public.
And you know that's about to be the biggest crock of bullshit they've never released.
No, because we know it's all privately owned aircraft, right? Like Occam's razor, something unexplainable in the sky.
That? I heard that.
Occam's razor, the simplest solution is often the solution. The line that goes along with it is, if you hear hooves in Central Park, it's probably zebras. No, it's not. It's fucking horses, because that's Occam's razor.
Right.
But yes, go ahead. Oh no, that was my topic. So
right, yeah.
I am fully right. You like how
taking a while to comprehend the whole.
No,
thing.
I mean Occam's razor when it comes to UFOs is that it is aircraft that just have not been made public yet. Like the SR-71 Blackbird back in the 50s.
You know what, man? I'm really starting to think, like, truly, really starting to think we are only so smart.
Well, that would actually be an interesting thing if UFOs came out and they are man-made and it's some private company. Because then we would be smarter than I would give us credit for. But then it also opens up the conversation about how are they powering these things, and why isn't that power solution available to everyone?
Listen, I don't doubt, out of all the rocks and shit that came out of Africa and vibrated and conducted electricity.
Are you talking vibranium?
I'm just saying.
Adamantium?
Nah, you ain't seen it. I don't even know what I don't even know if I have the video readily available to me. But it was one recently of this dude in Africa, and he had these two rocks. They were like black like obsidian, but they wouldn't touch each other.
So they had like magnetic properties.
Right, like every time he moved one over, it would move away. He grabbed them and he put them together, and they started like sparking and creating electricity. Then he did it with like he did it with something else, like the show, like he could light a light bulb. And
so he went all like Tesla on it.
It was some weird shit. It was some weird. I mean, but I don't think it's weird. Weird is just what we don't recognize as normal.
Well, and magnetic fields give off like electromagnetism, so that would track. I think it would depend on how does the current alternate, etc. But that's interesting.
I don't know anything about that, G. But all I know is they've been raping Africa of its resources for hundreds of years, thousands even.
Yep.
So I wouldn't doubt that that's not true. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, and that would give it even more credence. Like, it wasn't just the gold and the diamonds and the silver. Like, it to be
it was a resource.
For it to be resource power, here. Yeah.
Right.
That's interesting.
What if all these motherfuckers really had like internet and 4K TV?
You're talking about like Wakanda being real.
I'm just saying, like, straight from the ground, from the soil. They was talking like, yeah, we from the motherland because the soil gives us AT&T.
Everything we need.
Actually,
so you brought up the other day.
You think we don't know you sending us 2020 national championship loser shirts? We know. We just rock them.
Hey, man. So you brought up, I think you brought up a couple of weeks ago, did you bring up like the Arctic and how there was a wall, and it came up, I think, in one of our conspiracy talks or one of our supernatural type discussions.
I don't doubt it, but
like that there was Antarctica, or not Antarctica, but the North Pole was
no. I know exactly what you're talking about. And I didn't say a wall. Although it's funny that you said that, and we're gonna come back to that. But I said that they said that there's a hole in Antarctica that leads to hollow Earth, where that's what they said. Who was they?
Well, interestingly,
what's up?
Not too well. I guess it was a couple of decades ago, in the 80s. Apparently, U.S. fighter jets shot down a UFO in the Arctic, and when they tried to recover it, they couldn't find anything. This is another one of those UFO type things that's come out recently.
You know what's crazy though is okay, and this is going. It's ironic that you tossed me this alley-oop. You almost like Chris Paul, right? Because you had no idea. You had no fucking idea. But this is going to tie into my inadvertent thought.
Nice.
But I've been seeing, you know how it goes. Like once you like so many videos, it starts sending you the algorithm, and the algorithm, at least mine, starts getting crazier and crazier.
Yep.
So
I've reset mine recently with dad jokes and funny dog videos, but continue.
Oh, you're just getting old.
I'll find my way back.
Yeah, I'm sure you will, and that's what I'm here for. I'm your anchor. But there were videos that came across, and it's like, it's true though, The only place that has treaties of all countries is the Antarctic. There's no other place in the entire world. The world's about to go to war, but in the Antarctic, they have an understanding. You know what I'm saying? Everyone has an understanding.
Well, I think that's because any kind of action in the Arctic or Antarctica could have worldwide repercussions. And what I mean by that is you could melt the polar ice caps.
Oh,
and then we all fucked.
You think these motherfuckers give a fuck about that?
They do when it involves their countries, like Japan, China. Like Russia's the only one that could probably be okay.
Let me tell you something. If these motherfuckers was worried about the polar ice caps melting, you would see $500 billion yachts on the ocean right now.
That's true.
That's a fact.
That's fair.
Motherfuckers wouldn't be digging underground. You would have yachts that were unimaginable to you if motherfuckers was worried about the polar ice caps melting.
I mean, have you seen some of the yachts?
Yes, but I doubt that these little buckets is going to be able to make it through a... Listen, you know what Noah had? Noah had to carry 2 of each animal in the motherfucking...
And only 42 cubits.
Species. Yeah, the fuck? That ain't no easy feat, motherfucker. We got to have a big boy around here. Let alone be able to continue civilization. It ain't gonna come from Elon, I tell you that right now.
I'm with you.
But what I was getting at was when I said the fact that all of them have a treaty in the Arctic. What do you think that comes from, for real? You think a world that is so used to war, that fights so much all the time, to be able to come together in this one place and say, you know what? It's cool, bruh. We ain't got no beef here. What would be the one reason that would take place?
Because that's where the aliens are.
Exactly. Something bigger. There's a bigger threat here that we need to figure out. That's the only reason to stop us as human beings from fighting one another.
Yeah.
Is somebody bigger than us.
Yeah. I'm not gonna argue.
So
that.
listen. But see, me, it ain't got nothing to do with me. It does have something to do with me.
What's it got to do with you?
I'm the motherfucking, in my mind, the plot revolves around me.
Oh, you're the main character?
You know what I'm saying? But everybody should feel that way, that they are the main character.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say everybody should feel that way, that you are the main character.
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
Well, we're all the main character in the world that we
But
create.
even in the Bible, it tells you that God needs everyone. He needs every person. He needs every believer. He needs every soldier.
So, topic for another.
You are the you know what I'm saying? You're the main character of this situation.
And what you just said has very interesting ties to a book that we discussed a long time ago that I actually read on the plane to Vegas. The Kabbalion. Mm-hmm. And so, not this episode. Maybe next week or the week after, we'll get to an episode of the Kabbalion, and I'll hit the salient points of the Hermetic philosophy.
I don't have the book.
I mean, I can give it to you. I'm done with it.
Yeah,
I've learned all the teachings of the masters and the students, Cliff.
I did have the book at one point, but I don't have it anymore. I don't know where
it's worth a read. It's interesting, and it actually ties into a fair amount of stuff that we've discussed in the past. And a fair amount of the philosophies that we've talked about, both from like a simulation perspective as well as an interconnected galaxies and neurons firing from that perspective. Like there's some interesting, it's definitely got some, like I understand why it survived through the ages.
Right.
But it also talks about something known as the all, which is, you know, depending on your belief system, feels like God or what God could be, but it's very agnostic in the sense that the all is unknowable.
Right.
And that's one of the first teachings is you have to accept that.
Right.
But we'll come back to that because I think it would be a good discussion. Not a good discussion for a night where we're both drinking.
Right. No, but maybe it is.
Maybe.
Did you
that feels more like a weed episode.
No, you may be right. You may be right once it's legitimately legal. But
right, because we would never do it before that.
Ever check out the Ninjas Are Butterflies podcast?
I listened to a couple episodes, but I could not. Did they finally get rid of the one girl?
No.
Because her voice is just too much for me.
It is, right? Remember we talked about it.
We did.
But they got rid of the screaming.
Okay.
Now only the men scream, which seems a bit, like
unique.
Fucked up. It's like now you can only scream, but that's how it is, and it plays that much better on your ears, though.
It does.
Quite honestly, though. Quite fucking honestly. But the only reason why I brought it up is because they had a podcast called Blurred Creatures.
Okay.
And they are devout Christians. I don't know what, like agnostic or what, I don't know what kind.
Right.
But they're Christians and they're explaining basically, like they're breaking down like Bible verses and biblical shit that, I'm sorry for saying shit, but biblical stuff that could equate to us with what we're going through now with like seeing spaceships and like how they explained all the supernatural stuff and how it could have been translated to this, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's I haven't listened to one of their shows, but it sounds interesting.
Well, and what's interesting with that is that if you believe the Bible is the latest iteration of prehistoric creation myths, meaning the Enuma Elish and other texts of the Sumerians and the Babylonians, etc. Like their creation myth does mention things like spaceships coming down, and like that's how humans were actually created, was blending with alien DNA. And so a lot of those creation myths, though, did find their way into the Bible in certain ways and in certain phrases and certain stories.
They even go back to that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But the whole point of the show is these people are Christians and they're trying to explain basically what the way he explained it was, we know what's coming.
Yeah.
Something's coming that could shake the foundation of everyone's belief. And we're trying to explain what you may possibly see in a way that you can still hold on to your faith.
Well, and I think that kind of goes to, weren't you talking about that with like your grandma and what the preacher said around, like, if you were to find out that this was all myth and created, would that affect your faith? And the preacher was like, all that. Like, I mean, honestly, you know, especially with a text like the Bible, which we know was curated a long time ago. We know there were stories that, you know, were passed along at the same time that did not get included. Like, there's certainly the possibility that they picked ones that best matched their interpretation and other things fell by the wayside.
Right.
Because men are corruptible and fallible.
I agree 1,000.
Even the Pope, which would get me kicked out of Catholic schools these days, but
Fuck them Catholic schools. Fuck schools in general, because they really don't teach you.
You know, it's funny. I actually
they're not trying to liberate minds. They're trying to control them.
No, I completely agree with that. I actually had a conversation about that with A-Reg on my way to dropping him off today, because he made some comment about, you know, two of his classmates being like two of the smartest kids in class, and I asked him, I'm like, well, are you included in that? And he was like, well, yeah, Dad, but I'm like, well, it's all right, dude. Like, you don't need to memorize facts the way that the two kids that he mentioned do. I'm like, I'm more concerned if you can think. Like, if you can see a problem and figure your way around it. Like, which is interesting because, you know, for having gone to quote-unquote elite education places most of my academic career.
Right. That was a real white thing to say.
It was.
Not even white. It was
privileged.
Professional. You get what I'm saying. Go ahead.
But, like, that was something that I don't think St. Charles ever taught me, was critical thinking. Carnegie did a little bit. Carnegie was a little bit different. But, like, even the college prep school didn't necessarily teach me how to think. It taught me, like, mechanics in terms of how much I needed to study and how to study and those kind of things. But it didn't teach me critical thinking. Like, that in my regard is pretty innate. Like, I have that.
I think that is naturally supposed to come from your parents.
Yeah. How are you going to work through this?
Honestly, my mom never taught me critical thinking. But what she did was she made me read books. And even when I was done with my homework, you got to work through this math book. And you got, you know, so it got my brain endurance up.
Yeah. Your resilience for it.
My dad was kind of always like, jump.
Right. Figure it out.
You know what I'm saying? And not even like, I'll catch you. Just, if that's what you jump, and we'll see what happens.
Well, and again, I think that comes down to, it's funny, that's the D&D stat line. What's the difference between intelligence and wisdom? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Intelligence is knowing something. Wisdom is knowing whether you should or not.
Say that again.
I said intelligence is knowing something. Wisdom is knowing whether you should or not.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But then what's that mean when you're... I guess that makes me look bad. But what's that mean? What's that mean when you're old enough to have the wisdom, but you'll never stop challenging you know what I'm saying?
Well, I think that's honestly the intelligence versus wisdom conversation is the same thing of book smarts versus street smarts. So you can always be willing to question something. It's actually wise to question things.
I guess I'm getting at it from a point of you get beat up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You get beat up through life, and every time you choose to stick your hand on it, they beat you.
Yeah. And then you keep putting your hand on it.
Yeah. I don't know what it is.
That's courage.
It doesn't matter how bad they beat me.
Or idiocracy. I'm not sure which.
I can't stop reaching. And I'm getting to the point now where it's like, I'm not even hiding the reaching.
Right.
I just thought the other day, I'm done paying taxes.
I'm over it.
No, I really am. Like, real talk. I'm going exempt. I'm not doing none of that. Like, at this point, come get it.
Right.
Like, I don't know what else to do.
I mean, I hear you. I'm not necessarily going to vouch for that idea, but
no, I don't advise nobody else to go down that road.
I mean, here's the good news: is everything I've heard is they don't come after you until you hit like 20,000 plus.
Don't give a fuck. You hear what I'm saying? It's too much. This is too much. You're doing too much.
Well, this goes back to start supporting candidates and legislation around outlawing income tax.
Fuck them.
Make it all corporate sales tax. Only corporate entities should be taxed, and we could all be happy.
It shouldn't even be that. You hear what I'm saying? That shit sounds crazy because it shouldn't even be that. Yeah. Not one of you motherfuckers had nothing to do with this home, with me building this home and this family and this group of people to go off and do these things.
Yeah.
So how can you choose to take from it? And what did you do to deserve me offering? We're so far from that, we don't know what to fight for.
Right. Well, and that's how they keep us down.
That's amazing to me. I'm amazed by it.
Yeah.
But what I will say, and we'll move on and we'll lighten up with the jokes.
No, I want to hit one more thing before we get to the jokes.
Okay. But if you think that I'm passing that way of thinking down to my daughter, that if you just pick yourself up by your bootstraps, if you think that in any way I would allow my daughter to slave for something the way we currently are, even the people that get paid decent wages, but the way they expect us to slave, because slaving makes desperate people.
No doubt.
And desperate people make desperate decisions.
Yeah.
And if there's a chance that motherfuckers could change that, it has to be current.
No doubt. Well, and I don't know. Like, I try to do my part in that at my local level because I'm fortunate enough to have risen far enough in my career that I can look out for people. And so, like, half of my job, I feel like, is getting my people either what they deserve or more than they deserve from a, like, folks that work for me perspective. Like, I will always I will always go to bat and try to get folks, you know, a better salary, a higher salary, more time off. Like, I don't argue when people say, hey, I'm going to go do that. Like, go for it. You're going to get your stuff done. I have no doubt. I have faith in that. Like, as long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, I have no issues. So
that's commendable.
That's just, you know, that was always something that I thought, like, when I got to that point in my career that I would pay it forward like that. Like, my intent is to grow people and make sure people are comfortable.
Yeah, nah.
So
you should continue.
Well, and I'll talk to you a little bit offline about this trip I just got back from, because there were some really good things, and then there were a couple of things where I was just like, huh. So
right.
All right, the last thing I wanted to talk about before we get into this game where you're gonna lose, the last video you sent me, talking about kids growing up and how kids play, and if you leave a group of boys alone to play on their own, what do?
Oh, right.
They play in something with a hierarchy. They play with something with a winner. They play in, you know, how to, I don't know.
You find your space. You find what you're good at. You may not be the running back, but I'm good at this.
Right.
I'll be all right here.
Versus girls, typically, when they're asked to, or when they are giving kind of free time and things to play, like they find themselves in more social games, like let's play, I don't know, house, or let's play, I don't know. And the telltale difference between the groups is when a disagreement arises. When there's a disagreement between boys, what happens? They find a tiebreaker. They find a challenge. I think the example they used was there's a jump ball.
Right.
And when girls get to a situation where there's a disagreement, what do they start doing? They stop playing the game.
I mean,
Which, as somebody who is divorced, I completely understand that. Because rather than work through it, they just stop playing the game. But what were your thoughts when you sent that over? I was curious.
I feel like you just summed them up right there.
Yeah.
Honestly, it might not have sound good or enticing to the ear of female listeners, but I feel like
The Reed said she's just glad we said typically.
yeah, it is typically though. That's what exactly what I was about to say.
That's why, honestly,
7.8 times out of 10, every man listening has had a situation, and that every man is in that 7.8.
Right.
It's not every, but has had a situation where they've attempted to break down a barrier, a wall in a relationship that a young lady has froze up and would not be willing to move forward. And it is very easier. I don't know how you use that grammar. For a man to know his feelings are going to get hurt moving into a situation than it is for a woman.
Yeah. Well,
that hierarchy sport is us getting our feelings hurt.
Right.
That's us recognizing
that we're not the
who
best.
We thought we were.
We're not. They are.
Oh shit.
Right.
Let me fall into the spot I fit best because there's a lot of killers out here.
Yeah. No,
women don't usually have that situation. I would say models and like, God forbid, but the way they do these little babies in a beauty pageants, they probably get a good idea early before they even understand what it's going on.
Right.
But shit like that, but it's never like you recognizing, oh, I get how it works now.
Well, and I think too, like the way that men realize how it works, especially in a relationship when they're about to get their feelings hurt, is they realize, and I'm gonna paraphrase from a couple of folks I've been following, paying attention to. They go a little too misogynistic sometimes, so I try not to latch onto them too much, but men are not given a space to be vulnerable, and anytime we do share vulnerability or we do share our feelings, we are made to feel bad for making the woman feel bad about our feelings.
I do agree with that. I do agree with that statement.
So that is like that's why you end up in these situations, these relationships where, once you have seen more than once or more than a handful of times or maybe multiple times over a long period of time that anytime you voice something, you're made out to be the bad guy. You just stop voicing things.
I'm not no relationship counselor, so I don't know nothing about that.
Oh, I am.
This
is my second career now.
About that.
Well, what's funny is, so I've been doing, as you know, I've been doing the poly thing, and there have been a couple of women who have stopped seeing me but still talk to me and actually get relationship advice from me occasionally.
Wait. And you giving advice and all kinds of shit. Wait a minute.
What?
Now, you said you do the poly thing.
Mm-hmm.
Explain it to me and the listeners out here. When you say poly thing, do you mean that you're just, and let me censor myself, having intercourse with multiple women at one time, or do you mean you are having intercourse with multiple women in the same social group
No. So typically, the way I approach it is they're separate relationships that aren't attached to other people. Now, there are two that I see that are in other relationships in their lives. I have no part in those, although I did go to like a party one time with one of them. However, and I see someone who I'm the only person that she sees. But occasionally there will be somebody who, that I dated for a little while, and then they realize that, they want a one-on-one or monogamous thing, and I say that's not me. But stay in touch or whatever, and if you need dick every once in a while, give me a call.
Yeah.
But I've actually had 2 or 3 of them that have like come back and like talked to me and have used me as a sounding board for like the relationships that they're now in that are monogamous. And I'm like, well, this is what the dude's thinking. Like, you're coming at him like this, and this is what his expectation is. Have you guys had this conversation? Those kind of things.
So you good luck, Chuck.
Oh, I am, and I'm perfectly okay with that because I don't fucking want it.
Oh, good luck, Chuck head ass nigga.
Hey, man. I was that in college too.
Goodness fuck.
2 or 3 different girls. Actually, before my ex-wife, I was the last relationship for 4 different women before they got married. So I've always been good luck, Chuck. That's fine.
That's crazy.
Oh, man. All right, you want to get into this?
The you is the question.
I mean, I'm not worried about me not laughing. I know how to control myself.
Okay. All right. He not took that personal.
Let's see if I can get the scoreboard up on the video.
Oh, you got a scoreboard.
Well, I don't yet, but I'm going to see if I can build
You
one
got a
real quick.
scoreboard. I'm going 10-0.
Let's see. We're just going to do...
This nigga's scoreboard numbers and shit. Let me find out. This nigga's scoreboard and shit.
So, Cliff, do you want to...
He put a little jig in there.
I did. I was doing the Chappelle music. I was doing the Chappelle where he's like, monkeys, stinky diapers, and then he's like, all right, let's see. Font style, we'll go bold. Can we make this the biggest? What's the biggest it could be?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. We got a 0 on Cliff. Let's see. Gotta do another one. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back and forth telling dad jokes. And every time the other person laughs, you get a point. Right? That's what we're doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
And for those of you who aren't regulars on TikTok and don't see this kind of thing all the time, this is, I think most of the videos have something like this. So, most of those video playing apps, but, all right.
You already lost.
What we got? You got a coin?
A coin? Damn, I do, but it's in the other
All right,
room.
bottle cap. Heads or tails? Heads is the top of the cap. That's tails.
All right. Tails.
Heads.
How you gonna call after I already called?
I ought to mark you right now for just laughing.
It ain't 3 fucking. What? Did you flip it?
Yes, I flipped it.
And
You want to flip it again?
Who's it go on?
It was heads. Ah, that one's tails. Fine, you can have it.
You can have it. I didn't hear you say you already flipped it.
Oh, well, yeah.
Go ahead.
I didn't just come on, man. All right. Hey, Cliff. What's the scariest plant in the forest?
What?
Bamboo.
What?
I'm going to count that as a point, sir.
You can count it.
This is where I wish we had a producer.
Okay. I gotta be. All right. I got bangers here. I don't know which one to come at you with. All right. I got one. What did Cinderella do when she got to the ball?
I don't know what.
She gagged.
Ding. That was a good one. I should have downloaded a ding sound effect. Hey, Cliff, did you hear about that?
Am I supposed? Wait.
Go ahead.
Am I supposed to not laugh too?
I mean, the game is whoever laughs, the other person gets a point. So
okay. So any laugh gets okay.
That's generally how it goes. Yeah.
That's
Any
why,
laugh.
okay,
so if you make yourself laugh, I get a point still.
Okay. I got it.
All right.
All right, hold up. Right.
You good? Hey, did you hear about the giraffe with the big booty?
No.
It's a tall tale.
I got one for you.
All right, what do you got?
Yeah. What's the difference between purple and pink?
I don't know what.
The grip.
That's a good one. Hey, Cliff, what's one thing a homeless man can't be?
What?
A homebody. Ding!
All right. All right. Listen. You ready for this?
Yeah, I'm listening. What you got?
You said, yeah. What do you get when you cross human DNA and goat DNA?
I don't know what.
kicked out the petting zoo.
All right, fair. Hey, I figured out what Forrest Gump's password was. You know?
No.
One Forrest, one.
Mm-mm.
No? All right.
Mm-mm.
You trying.
All right, let's see. Let me see what I'm gonna throw at you. All right. Nope. Not quite ready for that one. All right. All right, you ready?
Apparently, we're making the Reeds laugh, but go ahead.
All right. Is butt cheeks one word, or do you spread them apart?
You spread them apart.
Is that grammar?
I think so.
That was an informative joke.
That was very informative. Hey, want to hear a funny joke about paper?
Yep.
Never mind, it's terrible.
Your jokes got ad libs.
What's that?
Give me one. Give me one.
All right. What do you got?
Three old ladies was sitting at a park bench. A man in a trench coat ran by and flashed them. First lady had a stroke. Second lady had a stroke. Third lady couldn't quite reach.
That's terrible. That's terrible. Speaking of terrible. Hey, why didn't the skeleton go to the party?
I don't know why.
He had no body to go with. I'm about to fire my joke writer.
You should.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. What kind of dad jokes was your dad telling you?
That's a good question. Hey, Cliff, my dad's dead.
You ain't gonna get a laugh out of me.
Are you sure? Because that was pretty fucking close.
You ain't gonna get a laugh out of me.
Hey, dead parent jokes can be funny. Those of us with trauma bond over them.
No. You can definitely catch them at a certain time.
That's true.
But you ain't gonna get one out of me.
Is it your joke now? Is that where we're at?
I got one for you.
What you got?
What is 6.9?
A period away from a good time.
Damn near. I give you that one. You go on and give me a point. Not me a point. You know what I meant.
I gotcha. It's all right. I fucked up, so I think I gave myself a point when I should have given you one. So we're tied up at 3.
Excuse me. Go ahead. You
Hey, do you know when a joke becomes a dad joke?
When?
When it becomes apparent. Thought that one might get you.
Nope, it wasn't. All right. What gets longer when pulled, inserts in a hole, and works better when jerked?
I don't know what, Cliff.
A seatbelt.
That's true. That's true. Hey, why do they call it PMS?
Why?
Because mad cow disease was taken.
I got one.
What you got?
Why does Dr. Pepper come in a can?
Because he can't fit it in a bottle?
Because his wife died.
Ooh. Ouch. Hey, man, did you know that I used to be addicted to soap?
What kind?
Don't worry, I'm all clean now. See, I feel like mine make you think too much.
That was a little thinker. That was a thinker on him. All right. You ready for this one?
I'm listening.
A traveling man walked into a bar. Only one patron in the bar. The drunk patron staggered over to him, wrapped his arm around his shoulder, said, "Hey, did you see that fence I built outside on your way in?" Dude said no. He said what'd he say? He said, I don't know what he said.
Oh, Cliff. Just giving me the win here.
That's all right. I'll bring it back around on the last one. I ain't gonna waste it.
All right. Hey, what do mermaids wash their fins with? Tide.
What do you call two lesbians in a closet?
I don't know what.
A liquor cabinet.
Ding. Oh, I'm always good for a good lesbian joke. Damn.
Yeah, no, I won't let it out. I sure won't.
Hey, I used to run a dating app for chickens, but it was hard making hens meet.
That's a double entendre.
Yeah.
I get it. Oh, I get it. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm gonna try this again. We're gonna start from the jump. Traveler walks into a bar. Only one patron. Drunk patron stumbles over to the guy, wraps his arm around him, and says, "Did you see that fence I built outside?" He said, "Yeah. They don't call me Fence Builder Johnson." Takes a shot of whiskey. He asks the guy, "Did you see that barn I built outside?" "They don't call me Barn Builder Johnson." Takes a shot of whiskey. Looks at the guy. He says, "Did you see that shopping center I built down on Main Street? I built that as well. They don't call me Shopping Center Johnson. But you fucked one goat."
I'm glad we got to the punchline on that one.
Yeah, I couldn't waste it.
See, I know who I should have gone to for my joke writing. I should have hit Anderson up. Hey, did you hear about the?
You know, Lucas would have known something.
He would have gotten this. Hey, did you hear about the fire at the circus?
Nope.
It was intense.
Makes sense.
I think that does have us at the game, unless you got more you want to keep going.
I don't think I do.
All right, well, I'm going to humbly give you this victory. Although, in fairness, at least two of yours were just your reaction. It wasn't the joke.
Man, you got me on one of them. I didn't even know I was. It's all right.
Well, that was fun. We will have to make that one a once-a-year episode.
You humbly say.
Well done. What else you got? Anything else you want to talk about?
Let's think about it. Hold up. Don't give me. Let me. Don't. Hold up.
I wish I had gone more dirty jokes. I feel like that would have been more successful.
Oh, I didn't get my in it first.
Oh, all right. Hit it up.
So listen. Now follow me.
I'm following.
And I'm not saying that I believe or anything, but I've been seeing a lot of flat earth videos come across
all right,
my feed, right? And I know that they've been talking about the firmament and that we haven't gotten outside of it. You know, that's the reason why we haven't gotten to the moon and all that nonsense, right?
But we have been to the moon. But continue.
Now, listen though.
I'm listening.
This is what made me think is like there has to be truth to everything. Like some sort of truth to everything. Otherwise, why would a motherfucker believe it, right? So I started thinking gravity is just the force holding us to the earth as it rotates.
Yeah.
But oxygen is H2O.
No,
one
oxygen,
part hydrogen.
That's water, but yeah, it's one part hydrogen, it's 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part water, or 1 part oxygen. Yeah. I sucked at chemistry, man. H2O is 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen.
Right, and that's water.
Yeah.
But what I'm getting at is this. What we do know is, I don't know the fucking amount, but there's water in the air that we breathe.
Yeah. There's water vapor.
Now what we found out is that there are lower densities of water in the ocean, you know what I'm saying, underwater.
Oh, so meaning that because it's
Because
water molecules themselves are compressed?
Nah, you haven't seen that where I thought I sent you that video.
Oh, maybe you did and I missed it.
Where it was divers that were swimming and they found a waterfall in the
ocean.
Right, in the ocean they were diving in, and like it was a dude explaining it, like not in the same video, but he was like, because that water was denser, that was denser water, it, you know, felt it even under that water.
Okay.
So what I'm getting at is, if we know that there is water in our oxygen that we breathe, we may not be fish, but to another life form,
we might be
swimming.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Which means that firmament that they call may not be just gravity, but it may be a tide of our water-filled air. You know what I'm saying? To a sense.
Okay. I think I
get what I'm getting at. Like basically our nostrils are gills. Is what
I get. I get what you're saying, but like the firmament. Okay, so that is basically saying like there's a glass dome over the earth, kind of deal.
Not really a glass dome.
Well, a solid dome.
Something, not even a dome. Something separating. That could be anything. You feel what I'm saying? You know how liquid or how oil and water separate? That could be anything.
I got you. And that's taken from like biblical texts, right?
Yeah.
And the scientific term would be like the ozone layer that keeps like water vapor and everything in.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I hear you. But you're saying like we swim in it, which makes sense too. Like,
right.
If you weren't we
oxygen could be breathing in our air to somebody else.
Right. If you weren't an oxygen breathing life form, like, yeah, it wouldn't seem natural to you.
Right.
No, I feel that. That makes sense.
And I feel like that's because I seen the video. I feel like that's why like helium balloons float.
Well, yeah, helium's lighter than air. It's lighter than O2.
Right. But also, if you was in water, you know what I'm saying?
I do. I got you.
And at that point, air would be somewhat water to, not to us, but to
a different species. Yeah.
Right.
I'm with you.
So basically, you sandy cheeks.
Which is two separate words. Oh, wait.
I'm the laugh champion. I see what you tried to do there. I see what that was.
Hey, man, just trying to slide it in.
I appreciate it.
Story of my life these days.
I appreciate it.
Oh, man. Well, sir, you got anything else? Any big plans this weekend?
No, not really.
Apparently, there's a like video game expo happening down at the expo center, so I think I'm taking the kiddo tomorrow.
For real?
Yeah. Need something for us to do.
What time y'all going?
I don't know. It'll probably be around noon. That's usually when he and I both get bored of video games. Especially when we don't have like sports. Oh, the other big news. I'm apparently coaching basketball this season, so if you got any tips and drills, let me know.
I got you. Where you coaching at?
Andrew's rec league stuff, so it'll be at his school.
Okay, I might have to drop in on y'all.
That wouldn't be a problem.
Help out a little bit.
I mean, I would gladly take the help because I just coached because nobody else volunteered. So
yeah, no, I ain't gonna do too much, but I, show some things.
First couple of days, or the first practice is actually, so usually they're on Tuesdays, 6:30 to 7:30, but his first one is Sunday, 5 to 6. So
this Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Are there any other dad coaches helping you?
There is one other one that kind of jumped in after I sent the initial email and said, "Hey, if you're interested in helping out, just let me know." So we'll see.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Mine already starts firing everywhere.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, I think this first practice is just going to be dribble, shoot.
It's right, but it's the same league that I seen.
Yeah,
before.
that you saw last year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So you can't steal the ball.
Actually, I need to read the rules. I don't know if that's still a rule because he did move up to the next grade level.
Okay. Well, let me know.
I will.
But I be remembering shit. I ain't.
Well, and like I said, this first practice is just going to be general athleticism and dribbling and shooting, right, so I can see what I got.
Oh, well, I ain't gonna be there for that.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna be there for that, then. I might be there for that.
Well, let me know, man.
I might want to see, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I might want to treat it like I'm Al Davis at the Raiders. Cut him. The kid's no good. He's no good. Get rid of him.
Well, we only have 7 or 8 kids, so we can't cut too many.
Cut him. I'll play for him. I'm only 5 foot nothing. I ain't got shit.
All right. You want to take us out?
Like, subscribe, share, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a family member, tell a family member to tell the enemy, tell that enemy to motherfucking troll. We out this bitch. You'll catch us next Friday.
Peace out, fools.
Don't hold.